let's not try to add more stress to an already stressful situation. And I see this a lot at this time of year. People say, I want to start running. I want to start going to the gym. I'm going to get better at going to the gym. I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week. I'm going to run 3 days a week. And immediately what I'll always do is look at actually what's going on a more holistic level, because everything that we do is a stress response. So if we're adding more stress to an already stressful situation, you all probably know what's going to happen. Something's going to pop. So what we'd like to do, and what I really encourage you to do, and this is a mistake that people don't do, is they don't look at how their weeks, months, and maybe quarters or 6 months or the whole year plays out. What you'll find is that there's certain times of the year where you can probably go a little bit harder on your training, and there's certain times of the year where you have to perhaps back off a little bit on your training because you don't have the capacity, the bandwidth to add more stress to your life. An example of this could be if January is a really busy time for you work-wise. Of course, some of Holly's cooking is ready, and that's what the alarm is, but I'll let that ring out. She'll get it. January could be a really busy time for you work-wise. She's on the way, don't worry. Hello. It might involve a lot of travel. So if you set out a goal to go to the gym more and to run more, and you're traveling a lot more than you were in previous months or in previous years, then how is that stress going to actually play out? It's probably not going to end very well. So if your plate is full, hopefully not all with food, but if your life plate is full and you have a lot going on, maybe adding loads of fitness goals, training for a fitness competition, training for a marathon, training for an Ironman, whatever it would be, and there are a load of different things, they're the things that we help people with, might not be the first port of call. It might be just being active for 20 to 30 minutes a day. And that activity could actually happen from your own home. It could be a walk, it could be some home exercises, some floor exercises, body weight things, some core work, a little bit of meditation, mindfulness, a 15 to 20 minute walk, something that really fits into your life at that time. It's actually what I encourage a lot of people to do when they travel. Travel is very stressful, although for some people they don't think it always is. The fact of going in an airplane has conscious and subconscious stress, getting to airports, being in queues, being in foreign countries, not being in your own bed, not having your own food, causes stress on a conscious and a subconscious level. So then to think you're going to get in a hotel gym and absolutely drill yourself on the treadmill is probably not always going to happen. Of course, if you go to a place often and you have a routine down pat and actually you are very aware that the situation is not super stressful, then you can do that. But in 8 out of 10 cases, that is not what happens. So to have a protocol that you carry out when you actually do travel that is a little bit more relaxed, takes care of some movement for the day, takes care of maybe some core strength, maybe some form of stretching, and maybe some form of mindfulness, that's just a 30 to 45 minutes that you're able to slip in at some point in the day, could be your biggest win. Of course, that doesn't really, for a lot of people, that doesn't really tick that box of a huge goal. But if you did that, if you just had that 30 minutes of a protocol or a routine that you did 5 days a week during that busy period, call it January or whichever part of the year it is, you would notice a huge, huge advancement in your health and wellness goals this year. So think about it. Think about the level of stress and the amount of extra things that you're adding onto your plate, and think about how your body and your mind are going to cope with it. If you haven't spent some time in reflection, I'm not sure if this contradicts or not what I said at the start, but think about how things went when you had busy months in the previous years. Think about if you got sick. Think about how your motivation levels were. Think about how your body felt, how it looked, and how it performed in those high stress times. Just how we write a training program, you should be looking at your goals for the year. And we will always use what we call periodization in a training program. So there'll be certain times of the program where, yes, the load is heavier, and there'll be certain times of the program where it's lighter to allow us to recover. I've said it before and I'll continue to say it. I think it was in one of my weekly mails the other week. Arnie said it the best. We grow when we're not training, when we're resting and when we're recovering. And I think that's something that is probably, definitely at this time of year, a lot underlooked. You can't go full gas the whole time. Otherwise, you'll be one of the stats. You'll get to the second week of Jan and you'll realize that it just doesn't all work. So think about the demands on 3 different levels: family life, professional life, and your fitness. Which one takes priority in which part of the year, and maybe in which week of the year, and then you can break it down on a day level as well. I work with a lot of people who might have an easy day at work, or they might have a day where they work from home, and therefore we can put more training on that day because we've removed the commute and we've removed a lot of stress from that day. So we can then add in, we have space to add in more intense training, either by length or by the intensity of the session. So have a think about how that looks for you and that you're not adding more stress to an already stressful situation.